better love to drown me.
Well, I've got my rod and I've got my bait. All I've got to do is sit here and wait for the big, big fish to come my way. Even if it's gonna take all day. Here, fishy, 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 here, fishy, fishy, fishy.
You must be right. This is an amethyst, except an amethyst is big and strong. This one is not the best example. Something is clearly wrong.
When they see me, they salute to have a true clue. Some pink pumps, pink thumbs, and a tutu. Some pink lips, pink blush on my YouTube. Now everybody chugging on my choo-choo. Some bubble gum blowing bubbles and I choo-choo. Some pink tap.
Hi, my name's Eddie. I have Tourette syndrome, and today I have some Kandi tips for you. First, let's talk about your string. You're gonna want to use cloth cover string instead of Stretch Magic because Stretch Magic tends to break and rot over time. Also, cloth cover string is a lot easier to tie. I recommend knotting your projects at least 3 times, and I also recommend taping down the string to a table or some sort of surface when you're putting your beads on to make it easier. Also, something you can do with your little string scraps that you have left over from other projects is you can tie little squares together into cubes like this one. Now I have some tips about getting resources. Firstly, I recommend getting bead boxes instead of individual bags of beads, like these ones. They come with a lot of color and variety. I found that I really like these and they're worth my money. And unless I'm doing a very specific project that requires one color of like a specific bead, I found that these boxes are really helpful for me. Next, I'd like to say that buying unsorted letter beads and then sorting them in a container like this can be a lot cheaper than buying them pre-sorted. You get a lot of them too if you do it that way. So next I want to talk about charms. What you can do if you want to make a charm is you can tie a string around a figurine or something like that, and you can thread it onto your bracelet. That's what I've done with this rarity charm. You can also hot glue things to beads. So for example, this bracelet has 2 beads that are hot glued onto the back of the strawberry. So as far as where to get this stuff, I usually go to Michael's. If someone gives me a Hobby Lobby gift card, I'll go there. And I also get beads and charms off of AliExpress and Amazon. And for my last step, please, please, please take breaks. I am guilty of not taking breaks. I really need to. It's unhelpful when I don't. Get water, take care of bodily needs, get a snack, even take a nap if you need to, but taking breaks from your Kandi projects is really important for your patience. Okay, those are my tips. Keep crafting, you silly little goobers, and I will see you later. Bye!
Du bringst corsets, wir bringen these inches. No one unterwegs over 9 inches. So was.
tutorial for how to make a star cuff. Another example. You'll need pony beads, scissors, and string. This is what string I'm using. To start, you need a 1x X-base cuff. There's a tutorial for how to make one within the playlist. If you don't have string left over from when you made the actual X cuff, then tie about a wingspan of string onto it. Make sure that the string is coming out of these two beads at the top. String on 11 beads in a pattern similar to this, but it doesn't have to be exact. For example, when I made this, I used this. And when I made this, I used this. Now that we have our pattern of 11 beads strung on, we are going to follow these 3 beads from where the string is coming out and go through these 2. Then tug tightly, and you have your first point. Then string on your pattern of 11 beads again, and we're going to follow these 3 beads and go through these 2. Once strung through, it should look like this, and we're going to make 3 more of these little points to go all around and have 5 points overall. Once all 5 are added, it should look something like this. Now I'm going to string on the first 3 beads in this point, so I'm going to, for me, put a shiny pink, then 2 normal pinks, but you would match whatever you have. Now that I have the 3 beads strung on, I'm going to string into the 4th bead out of the 11. So for me, it is this pink bead, and you're just going to string it on in and pull tightly so that it looks like that. Then you're going to take your string and you're going to string it in this bead, and this bead, and this bead. So that is a total of 4 beads, 5 if you include the first one. So after stringing through all of them, it should be coming out of this one. Then once again, we are going to be stringing on the first 3 beads out of this so that it matches. Once they are strung on, we are going to skip these 2 and go through these 2. And then we are going to tug so that it looks like this. Then you are going to continue that 8 more times all around. Once you do it all around, it should look like this. Now I suggest tying at this point, so to do that I'm going to go through this hole, and then I'm going to take the string and click it there, and then pull tightly. Now I'm going to string through these 2 beads so that it's coming out here. Once you string through those 3 beads, go through these 3 so that it's coming out at the big point at the top. Once it's at the top, string on 3 beads that match these 3. So for me, I'm going to do big pink, medium pink, and then lightest pink. Now that my 3 beads are strung on, I'm going to go through this bead in the middle, right here. And then I don't suggest pulling tightly for this part because it might misshape these points and it'll be hard to tell it's a star once it's fully done. Then you're going to string on beads in reverse of this, so I'm going to put it in the opposite order, so light pink, medium pink, bright pink, but you would do whatever matches yours. Now that my beads are strung on, I'm going to go through the big pointy pink, and then I'm going to do that all the way around, so 8 more times. Once you're done, it should look like this all the way around, and now it's time to tie it. So I'm going to take the string and put it under the little bridge, and then have it click to that bead, and then I'm going to pull tightly, and I suggest doing that multiple times. Cut off your string, and you're done. You have a nice little star cuff.
Hey guys, Stargazer here. I'm going to show you how to make a staff bracelet, and you add any charm, any beads, and let's go. I used a blue, a purple, dark blue, and like a light blue. So keep doing that pattern until it fits on your wrist, or you can use any other pattern. I don't really care. So here's like a little like pattern here that's like right next to the T on the Stargazer blueprint or something. I don't know. So I'm removing some beads because I made them a little bit too big. Made the bracelet a little bit too big, and I'm gonna show you a little transition. So boom. So bye guys.